Thank you for joining Catholic Gen X, where Father Peter is waiting for the Ronco smokeless ashtray to make a comeback.
I am.
I didn't know that. I mean, I know I'm familiar with Ronco, but I didn't know they had a smokeless ashtray.
You know they had a smokeless ashtray?
Had a fan in it? Oh, I think I kind of remember. It was tall and kind of like...
It was supposed to suck the smoke into a filter.
Did you have one?
I did not. I don't
you
generally buy from...
Did you have a pocket fisherman?
No, he had a Mr. Microphone.
Oh.
I saw a documentary about those infomercials.
Yeah.
And at one time, the pocket fisherman, like for years, was like the number one selling. And
I thought it was his hair in a can. I guess it's pretty great. Do you remember that in the 90s?
Yeah.
Like the infomercials?
Or ShamWow.
ShamWow, I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
And who can forget the Ronco rotisserie? Set it and forget it.
That was... so I'm a little... Yeah, Ron Popeil is Ronco, isn't he? Yeah. Set it and forget it. That was good.
That was.
And I will admit, like, I don't know that I ever sat and watched that infomercial start to finish.
No.
But I bet if you tallied up the number of times I saw pieces of it, I probably watched it 5 or 6 times.
Oh, I bet you watched more than that. Infomercials were like a real thing back in the 90s.
They were.
And they were like an hour long.
Yeah.
You remember the George Foreman grill he had one?
I do. Named all of his sons George, so in case you forgot his name or theirs. So.
Right.
R.I.P. Yeah, he just
CTE will do that to you.
he just died a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Other thing I thought about was best Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, why are you guys both looking at me? I have a few answers here because it kind of goes... Like, I was a big fan of the Gummy Bears.
What?
Gummy Bears.
Okay.
I liked the Super Friends.
Super Friends are pretty good.
Yeah, I liked Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo was good. What about Tom and Jerry?
Caveman wasn't bad. That was... See, to me, that's an after-school cartoon.
What does that mean? Like more sophisticated, like Matt?
No, it's just that Tom and Jerry was on after school.
Oh yeah,
I don't
Tom
think
and,
of that
Tom and Jerry was quite good too.
because like G.I. Joe was a fantastic cartoon, but that was a after school cartoon, not a Saturday morning cartoon.
Kind of like Johnny Quest would be more more.
I didn't have cable, John, so I didn't get to watch that TBS or USA cartoon.
We weren't
Express.
rich like you were.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Rolling in the money with my cartoons. Absolutely.
Scrooge McDuck.
The Hanna-Barbera cartoons that had like
Herculoids.
yeah, and
Thundar.
Boris and Natasha.
That was Rocky and Bullwinkle.
That was Rocky and Bullwinkle.
But they had like an expanded like maybe it was a different
Laugh Olympics?
Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, like where they had all the different characters, Mr. Magoo, all of that.
Laugh Olympics was good. My issue with the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, all the separate ones on their own, it's all the same thing. Like, it's all Scooby-Doo, just in this one, Scooby-Doo's a shark. In this one, Scooby-Doo's a dune buggy. And this
back in those days, you had like probably 1 or 2 voice actors that did everything. Most Samuel Blanc.
But the stories, I mean, they put no effort, no originality into it. It was the same thing. They just changed the goofy character into something else. Yeah. Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes is very good. And if you watch that, I mean, so you talk about some of the Hanna-Barbera ones where just it's kind of senseless and kids loved it and there's really nothing to it. It was the same show every week. Looney Tunes, actually, they had a lot of like culture references, things if you're an adult you probably would have caught, things like that too.
I mean, that's where we all learned the Barbara Seville song,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
My wife and I still do that. I'll say, yes, you're very beautiful. You're so very beautiful. She'll say, yes, I know, but I can't help it.
Well, I remember being in college and my roommates asked me, because I had like some classical CDs. It's like, didn't know you were into classical music. It's like, well, I just know it from cartoons, like Tom and Jerry,
I'm not.
Tunes. Yeah, so it was really about the cartoon music. I just happened to learn it was actually classical music from a few centuries ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't really have Saturday morning cartoons so much anymore, though.
No, because kids have channels that are dedicated to them. They don't need it.
Well, I guess when you have YouTube, you don't really have to.
Well, and all the cartoon channels that there are out there now.
A lot of the cartoon channels, I don't know how, there's Cartoon Network. Boomerang is a thing. We got that for our kids that show the old cartoons.
I don't think that's around any. I don't know.
You have to pay for it now.
There's some Disney channels that are cartoons. PBS has a station dedicated to kids.
They do. You're kind of learning, and it's very boring, too.
Oh, I don't know. What was your favorite PBS show growing up?
Electric Company.
That was good. That was one with the Spider-Man in the suit that didn't quite fit, right?
Right.
He talked about it one of the episodes of Poor Man's Spider-Man.
I said that?
Yeah, ill-fitting.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, he wasn't very fit.
It wasn't
kind of middle-aged.
It wasn't PBS, and we weren't rich. So when I went to my grandparents and I got to watch Nickelodeon, I always liked Mr. Wizard's World.
That was actually really good.
And I still remember him doing a headstand and eating pineapple.
Oh.
That's just kind of like circus folk, though. That's kind of a little strange. But, well, since we've last met, we have lost a pope.
Yeah.
That's the Holy Father, Pope Francis. And we have a new pope, Pope Leo XIV.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Father Peters are much buzz you hear among your brother priests and what they're talking about him.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are just excited. We love popes and we love having a pope, and so it's great to have a new pope. I think some are working diligently to find reasons to like him. So that's, at least that's a positive impulse.
See, I think with the Pope, you should start with you like him.
I think so too. Yes.
That should be the default setting.
Right.
As opposed to you just need to prove yourself to me that you're going to actually be good.
I don't think he's got lots of titles, right? Like Vicar of Christ.
Right.
I think if you get that title, you really don't have to prove yourself at that point.
Well, you get a pretty awesome bumper sticker you can park where you want. So.
Yeah, but there's not good space on the Pope Mobile to put it.
Well, he's not going to be driving the rest of his life. So.
No, he had an article. Somebody who knew him when he was bishop said they thought that would be one of the hardest changes for him as pope because he really enjoyed driving. And, coming from Illinois and Chicago, I can completely understand that and see that. So.
Did you guys read the article in the Criterion last week about the guy who knew him when they were seminarians?
I saw that. I don't think I read that.
It was very good.
Was it Bill Bickle who works for Catholic Charities?
Yes.
Yeah. So Bill and his wife, Flor is Peruvian, and she also knows the Pope. So
I think it's interesting because we're getting more news about him as a man than we ever did the others.
Right.
And it's interesting to just hear all these people calling him Bob.
Yeah.
Like, back when Bob and I played Little League. And
right. Or Father Bob. Like, there's lots of people who knew him as Father Bob.
Well, because if we would have heard that kind of stuff, it'd be in another language.
Right.
So we probably wouldn't hear what they're saying. Maybe Father Peter, but Tom and I'd have a Google Translate.
Unless it was Pig Latin.
Sadly, that should not be a dead language.
Tom's fluency is in Pig Latin.
I had dinner with my sister's birthday was this past weekend, and so I had dinner with my parents and my sister and my brother, and my parents started speaking Pig Latin to each other. And I said to my dad, who's almost 80 years old, I'm like, Dad, if you put the level of effort into that, because it's crazy, he's fluent. Like, he can just conversation in Pig Latin. He's like, well, it's not that hard. But it takes some thought process.
If he dedicated that effort to a real current language, I mean, just imagine Duolingo. He would imagine. Yeah, I mean, you've been studying German now for 10 years?
Oh yeah, I'm still. I can say my name and order a beer.
Well, I mean, what else do we need in Germany, right?
It's true. They all speak English.
Where's the Porsche factory? So, but yeah, so it's exciting. We're kind of talking a bit ago of where. Never imagined our lifetime, and probably not for 100 years, to have an American pope.
No.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a perfect storm, right? Like, he was kind of just the right guy. Like, he was American, but hasn't lived here for years.
Right.
Appealed to the Latin American church. I think it was kind of...
Yes. I also think that, so Americans in the church are known generally for two things. Good management and fundraising, and there's nothing that also that, but there's nothing that the Vatican needs more desperately right now than good management and fundraising.
I've seen Bishop Barron especially, but also Cardinal Dolan and Cardinal Tobin really trying to be emphatic about don't politicize the papacy.
Right.
Like, we don't know anything about the guy. He doesn't fit into our political molds that we want him to fit into. That's fair.
Yeah.
So is he, I can't remember what I've read, is he the first or second Augustinian?
First.
Is it first?
I thought first, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all kinds of firsts. First Augustinian, first American, first Peruvian, probably the first Bob.
Right.
I mean, a lot of firsts with this one.
You don't think he goes around like, Holy Father, your eminence, or your excellence, or no, Holy Father. And it's like, no, just call me Pope Bob.
Just call me Bob. Right before I left to come over here, my son was scrolling Instagram and something of the Pope came up, and he's like, it's so weird to see the Pope speaking English.
Yeah.
And I've been a little surprised at how much he does in English. Like, I was prepared for him not to do much, but seems like he does a fair amount.
John Paul II spoke very good English. Benedict spoke fine English. It was heavily accented, but it was good. Francis spoke almost no English, or like in public at least, he spoke almost no English. So, this is a big sea change for us with a pope that is comfortable in English and an accent that we can understand. And
so, have you heard this kind of cloak and dagger thing going around about Cardinal Dolan and how he told everybody they needed to get in line because there was some European that had a ton of support and none of them wanted this guy?
Is that what Dan Brown said?
Yeah.
I mean, certainly, I think there probably are influencers among the cardinals. It seems to me more likely that Dolan was more affable than get in line.
Right. Well, the Americans have all said they didn't really know him. Like, Tobin said, I knew of him. I'd heard of him, but I don't know that we had ever met. And
well, I mean, Tobin was number 2 at the Congregation for Religious when he was head of the...
Well, maybe he wasn't the one that said it. I thought it was him that said that. But, well, and
I find it hard to believe Tobin didn't know.
He's had that pretty important job where he runs the office that appoints bishops.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I think you'd get to know
And
him.
Tobin and Supich are both on that board with him. So.
I retract my statement. It must not have been
I'm
Tobin
not
that said
attack
that.
you,
but one of the Americans I saw said, I know, I've heard of him. I know he exists. We've maybe said hello to each other, but because he hadn't really lived in the U.S. since like 2009 or something like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And had been abroad even before that, but came home. The clip of him at the World Series is amazing.
Isn't that great? So they've put up, the Sox have put up a mural of him, a large picture of him as Pope, and a small inset picture of that screenshot of him at the World Series game in 2005. Yeah.
I did see a video of him showing J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio around the apartment, and he said that he hasn't decided where he's going to live yet.
He's going to live there. He's just being diplomatic.
Maybe I need to become a Sox fan now after the Sisters and Perpetual Indulgence and all that.
No, I mean, you can get too carried away with papalatry.
Yeah. I figured that Tom would
like the south side of Chicago.
I thought, because I mean, Tom's a Cubs fan, so
I don't know if you guys know this. That's the baddest part of town.
Well, that's what I learned in summer vacation.
Well, if you go down there, come on. You guys don't know where I'm going with this?
No.
Bad Leroy
Yes.
Brown.
Oh, nice. Go to AM radio, Jim Croce.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
Very underrated musician.
I agree.
Died way too young. Way too young.
One of our listeners, I got him a Jim Croce t-shirt as a gift. It actually wasn't a weapon, Tom. It was actually a kind of nice gift.
How come his other friends get gifts?
But I get weaponized
and we
t-shirts.
get messages.
Right. That's right. Yeah, I have the body of a god. Unfortunately, it's Buddha. Yeah.
Gave another friend. It was bread, like the from the 1970s. The group gave him like a bread shirt. Yeah.
Now I did give John a T-shirt that was It came from a place of kindness. It was Mike Tyson because he loves Mike Tyson's Punch Out. But it was one of the most ill-fitting shirts I've ever seen. It was really tight in his torso and came to about his knees.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a shirt dress. He had to wear it with a belt.
And it was one of those of where, like when I washed it basically became like a half shirt because it was like this big. So just kind of show the midriff and walk around. So I don't know what's typical, but I did think it was pretty interesting of how quickly we saw the white smoke.
Yeah.
They were predicting 4 or 5 votes, and that's right where it came in.
I really thought it would be longer. So he was elected on Thursday afternoon, our time.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought it would be Friday or Saturday at least. Just because there didn't seem to be a clear direction or a front runner, and they, like, lots of guys didn't know other guys, so I just thought it would take them a minute.
Tell us what it was like being in Rome for the funeral. And
Horrible.
Was it?
It was so chaotic, and the streets were shut down, and
Were there like strikes as far as like the subway and things like that?
there weren't any strikes, but like fancy people motorcades and, like Trump and whoever, right?
Did you stay fairly close to St. Peter's Square?
I stayed a little bit farther away this time than I normally do, over by the subway station.
But still not that far.
Not that far.
In the high fashion district.
Right.
Ah, yes. No,
South of there. We were
near the
not on a main shopping street.
What's the weird fried chicken franchise with the bear?
Broly's? No. It is. I can picture
I
it.
must say like Jujubes or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So down kind of near that?
South of there. Like towards, so we always would walk from St. Peter's to the Ottaviano subway stop. And then the next subway stop is called Lepanto. So I stayed near there. Near
That's
Lepanto.
where you almost got lippy with the Italian cop in the machine gun. Because he wasn't going to let us go down the stairs.
You and I have very different...
I like this story, but I don't remember that. This sounds much spicier than
We had to walk all the way over
We did have to walk all the way to...
St. Paul's, right?
No, Piazza del Popolo.
Well, a little known to our listeners, but Father Peter, from being a smoker, could be any mall walker any day of the week, one of the fastest walkers. Just having to follow like the chain of smoke and just so we could see him in the crowd. Just keep going. Incredibly fast.
I'm feeling attacked.
No, I'm actually like...
It sounded a little bit more like admiration to me.
Right.
It was.
That you have
Critical admiration.
You have persecutorial
anxiety.
Right.
Going back to episode 1 for you who have been with us since the beginning.
Yeah, that's right. So do we get any sense of a glimpse of, I know it's kind of early to call this, but where we think the papacy is going to be now? I'm hearing about unity.
So I heard a really interesting analogy. I'm an attorney, so this resonated with me. They said that a pope is a lot like a Supreme Court justice. You really don't know what you're getting until they've been in the job.
I think that's true.
Like you can't predict how they're going to be.
I think that's 100% true. I do think, we have some hints. He's a canon lawyer and a mathematician, so I expect him to be, very thoughtful, very organized in his thought, very clear.
And that comes across in the way he talks.
Yes.
Like very, very measured.
Deliberate, right?
And,
yeah. Which, will be kind of a tone down from recent years, right?
Yes.
That I also think that he has, maybe because he's Augustinian and, you see lots of pictures of him in his Augustinian habit. But I think, like, with some of the outward symbols of the papacy, he seems much more comfortable with them than Francis did.
And he feels, to me, a lot more like John Paul II, more comfortable. It has a sense of humor.
Yes.
Like, you never felt like Pope Francis, and certainly Pope Benedict. Like, they just never really seemed...
No.
But he just seems... but it could be the language barrier.
Right.
Like,
also,
we can pick up the nuance in what he's saying.
Right.
Well, this is our first time experiencing this, but all things American, I'm sure that we'll try and capitalize on this, at least as far as, we finally have one. And, the Italians have had it on and off for centuries.
Yeah.
But,
Parishioners should be wary that they will probably now get emails saying they're from Pope Francis needing iTunes gift cards.
Oh, okay.
So, now that they can be written in English from the Pope.
Yeah. So that's not for real?
It's not for real, Tom. I've written about this. I've mentioned it from the pulpit.
Tom just cashing his 401k
I never
and send
need
money order.
to buy
So
me.
I need to know this. He's not Polish, but he's from the south side of Chicago. Do you think he loves a good polka band and a brat?
I read an article that
Maybe not
quoted
brought, but
his brother. I think that they thought of themselves as French. French Americans growing up. There's
that explains why he pronounces his name very different from
Right.
how I would pronounce it.
right. So maybe not polka pants, brats. I mean, who can dislike a
Man,
brat,
his
but-
brother was taking every opportunity to
Get your 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it was funny to hear him refer to the Pope as his baby brother.
Yeah.
Well, and he was meeting with President Trump
Yeah.
probably like the last couple of days or so.
Dressed like a slob.
I saw that too. It's like he's
Right.
going to a barbecue.
Yeah.
That's right. Or he showed up at a surprise party, didn't know like to be dressed up. Yeah.
He's just a simple guy from South Side Chicago, John.
That's right. Yep, here I am again. So, new Pope. I think there's some questions we get sometimes from listeners.
Sure.
Questions of like papal infallibility, what the Pope says.
Yeah.
The Pope is not infallible.
No.
As a man, as the Pope, but I mean, there's still some things you can say
Right.
that are. So, like, what makes that distinction as far as, like...
So, infallible statements that cannot really be argued with or rethought, have a very formal way of pronouncing them. So if you look, for example, at the papal decree announcing the formalization of the doctrine of the Immaculate Conception, there's a very formal way to lead into stating that makes it clear the intention is to present this as an infallible teaching. However, as Catholics, we owe the Pope a posture of openness and respect to all that he teaches, even though he could be wrong. Our posture, I think, ought to be receptive to his teaching, unless it's clearly heresy or whatever. But,
Right.
I think there's a lot of room for us to learn even some things that in the American context would be political, but in the Pope's heart and mind are theological.
So, what about some of the more controversial things that Pope Francis did, like the allowing priests in the Amazon basin to marry? Like, does that continue?
So he talked about the possibility of ordaining married men.
I thought he did. He didn't do it?
He did not do it. He left that up to local bishops to put together a proposal. But this is an important point, that it's possible to ordain married men to be priests. It is not possible for a priest who has already made the promise of celibacy to get married. So
That'd be the same with the permanent diaconate.
right.
I started a write-in campaign to get myself elected Pope, because I'm technically eligible.
You're not eligible to be a bishop. You have a wife.
You could be a pope, though, right?
Yeah, I thought you could.
You have to be a bishop to be a
You
pope?
have to be eligible to be a bishop.
Oh. Well, I've been saying the wrong thing because my staff's like, "Hey, John, you can be a pope." It's like, well,
Yeah, I have always been told
I don't
it was
want that
any,
job.
Because
any
the
male.
Pope is the Bishop of Rome. So you have to be, if you're not a bishop, like I could have been elected Pope, hardly. But then I would be consecrated bishop, and then
Yeah.
you could have been a write-in candidate. Though.
I'm going to go with the Father Guido Sarducci school here. We kind of look the other way on some of those rules. So what about like his prohibition against the Latin Mass?
yeah,
Does that stay in place
It
until
does.
the new Pope
It does.
lifts it?
Law stays in place until changed or abrogated by a new supreme legislator.
There's a lot of how do I say this? I can imagine a lot of seminarians would be interested in that, and some of it is their love for the Latin Mass, and
Yes.
every bishop handles that differently,
Right.
And certainly being very
But
faithful to Pope Francis or otherwise. So.
I would expect with what I honestly believe is Pope Leo's very sincere desire and heart for unity, that I would expect we could see some changes, but they will be small changes and designed to not provoke the other side into anger or frustration. There won't be a this sense of own the libs. So
the issue I've always had with that is the whole argument was it promotes unity, or it inhibits unity, but then by his very action he created a lack of unity.
Right. Right. But I think to undo it too quickly or too dramatically
would seem disrespectful.
It would seem you're encouraging unity from one party and discouraging it from another. I think it needs to be handled very delicately.
Well, and he did very quickly. I don't know if you read about this. He reinstated, I don't know if it'd be the rector or the president of the JP2 Institute.
Yes.
I mean, very quickly,
yes.
His papacy, which that's actually a big deal.
Now, on the one hand, it was an easy, the guy that got replaced was 80. Mm-hmm. So there was an age ceiling there already, mm-hmm. So it was kind of an easy pick. I think the interesting thing is who will he name to replace himself at the Congregation for Bishops, and that will be very revealing, I think.
Kind of interesting fact to me of so we went to Rome a couple years ago. My good friend Mark, who is a psychologist at the NAC, did the second reading of Papal Mass.
Well, our the alumni of Brute, Nick Monin, deaconed the Mass.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did some chant.
Wow.
I saw something about that.
Yeah, from Fort Wayne, South Bend.
Yeah, I saw a video of that. He was very good.
Yeah.
So we don't know how long the Holy Father will live, but 69, he's a spring chicken.
Yeah, we could have 15 years without really working at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make the papacy great again.
Right.
Okay, so listener questions.
Mappa. I'm going to get those Mappa hats.
I like that. I don't think you're going to go to the auto parts store. One of our youngest listeners, Joe,
Okay.
Not the south side of Chicago, south side of Indy, will ask a question, follow up from the Lenten special. Wants to know, Father Peter, why do we have to fast from meat during Lent? It's not in the Bible.
Oh, wow. I'm glad my boys aren't here.
So he is he's an 8th grader, so.
Okay. I think so. A big part of this answer is that as Catholics, we always look to Scripture, but also tradition, and then the active, what we call the magisterium, what the bishops and popes are teaching and explaining now. So it's always 3 voices feeding in, right? And it's an ancient tradition in the church. It's well over 1,000. It's probably close to 1,800 years old to abstain from meat on certain days. And at its height, it was every Friday, mm-hmm. right? Now it's Ash Wednesday and every Friday of Lent. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Part of that is, so when you think about ancient times, what would have been special and what would have been maybe even borderline luxurious for a lot of people, and that was meat. Mm-hmm. That meat was expensive and it was special and all that. So we give up kind of that gift of God on Fridays because it's the recognition that every Friday is a commemoration of Good Friday, mm-hmm. right? Like every Sunday is a commemoration of Easter. Every Friday is a reminder, a commemoration of Good Friday and our Lord's death for us. And so we choose to give up a little luxury on Friday. Of course, now in our current world, right? You see Friday Lenten lobster tail suppers, right? Which is hardly in the spirit of.
So I read recently that in biblical times we think they ate fish all the time, but fish was a treat.
Yes,
and I think it's interesting that now we're giving up a luxury by consuming what they thought was a luxury.
Right, yeah. I mean, I think it was a treat in a lot of areas, but like, along the coast, they certainly would have eaten a lot more fish than they would have,
I thought Tom was going to ask if Spam counted as meat on Fridays during Lent, so.
I assume it does.
Right.
Well, as we mentioned in the Lenten episode, the other part of this, too, is that, listener Joe, that even though things have changed since Vatican II, that we're supposed to be offering some kind of sacrifice on every Friday.
Right.
He needs to read about sola scriptura.
Torah. Yes. The heresy of the Reformation.
So this has come up many times about us having to call Father Peter on vacation one year because my boys were adamant my wife is a heretic.
Right.
This whole conversation about where's that in the Bible, that's what started this whole thing.
You didn't burn her at the stake or anything, did you?
I did not have her as a heretic.
Well, that would make you kind of guilty by association.
I was the
right?
mediator, John. That's why.
That's why it's an ongoing marriage.
Right.
Well, Joe, thank you for your question.
Yeah, great question.
Future listener questions, certainly email us at catholicgenx@gmail.com. Still waiting for a letter.
Right.
P.O. Box 17333, Indianapolis 46217. Tune in soon. We'll talk to you later.